أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبد لكم تسؤكم وإن تسألوا عنها حين ينزل القرآن تبد لكم عفى الله عنها والله غفور حليم. Oh, you who believe, now these are the finishing touches to the legal system of Islam. Hence these advices. Oh, you who believe, don't ask about those things that if they are disclosed to you, you will feel annoyed. Don't ask such questions. وَإِن تَسَلُوا, and if you will ask, حِينَ يُنَزَّلُ الْقُرْآنِ, when Quran is being sent down, تُبْدَ لَكُمْ, it will be disclosed. عَفَى اللَّهُ عَنْهَا, Allah has left them over as a concession. Conceded to them something, I will explain. Wallahu ghafurun halim, and Allah is forgiving and forbearing. What does it mean? We find in a hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared something absolutely clearly haram, and something on the other side absolutely clearly halal, permissible, forbidden. In between there is a very wide field of mustabihat. So many things are not mentioned. And one at some times he is at loss to say whether this thing belongs to this group or that group. Now if you will ask, when Quran is being sent down, Allah will declare it. So this field of mubah will become short. You will have more burden, more limitations on your shoulders. Don't think Allah has left them over due to some forgetfulness. Min ghayri nisyanin, these are the words in hadith. Don't think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, had he just forgot to mention those things. He has not mentioned those things as a mercy to you. If it is declared haram and you commit it, you are a culprit. If it has not been haram, declared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you can plead. Oh Allah, it was not declared haram. I never found it anywhere in the Quran, in the hadith, that this is haram. So whatever is not haram is mubah, permissible. Although there might not be any positive proof of its being halal. The principle of jurisprudence in Islam is that everything is mubah unless proved otherwise. Unless it is proved it is haram. Not that everything is haram unless it is proved to be halal. That would have, very much diminished the field of mubahat. But this is the principle which is absolutely in the opposite. قَدْ سَأَلَهَا قَوْمٌ مِّن قَبْلِكُمْ. Such questions were asked by the people who were before you. ثُمَّ أَصْبَحُوا بِهَا كَافِرِينَ. And then they lost their faith due to it. They increased their burden. What about this? What about this? What about this? And an incident happened. When Hajj was made compulsory and imperative, ayah was revealed in Surah Al Imran, وَلِلنَّاسِ عَلَى اللَّهِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. A Muslim stood up, "O Prophet, is it imperative? It is obligatory every year?" The Prophet ﷺ turned his face to the other. He doesn't reply. He comes to that side because he was, a very knowledgeable person. He wanted to have all the knowledge. He said, "What about every year?" Again, the Prophet kept quiet. When he repeated the question for the third time, the Prophet ﷺ became angry and he said, "If I say yes, it will become obligatory upon you forever." When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has left something, why do you want to increase your burden by asking these questions? This was the habit, of the Jews. And then, one can very easily add to his burden, but to carry the burden is something else. Theoretically, you can add it to it. Add to the lists of duties and duties and duties and duties and obligations and everything first. But to perform all these things and fulfill all these obligations is not an easy job. Then you fail. ما جعل الله من بحيرة ولا صائبة ولا وصيلة ولا حام. Now I can't go into detail, these are the 4 types of animals which used to be devoted to their idols, and some she-camel had given birth to so many camels, now she is set free, nobody would touch her. So in the same way, Saiba, Ham, Bahira, from some, he-camel, so many she-camels were fertilized. Now he is free to roam about, just as in India, in Bharat we find, sand, they roam about, and nobody can touch them. All these things, they were the customs of the Jahiliyyah. Ma ja'alallahu, Allah has not declared, not appointed, neither Bahira, nor Saiba, nor Wasila, nor Ham. وَلَكِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ. Actually, these peoples who don't have any faith, they have concocted and they have attributed these things to Allah. وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ, and most of them, they don't use their intellects. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالَوْا إِلَىٰ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ وَإِلَى الرَّسُولِ, and when it is said to them, oh, come to Allah, what Allah has sent down, and come to His Prophet, He will tell you what is halal, what is haram. You don't make conjectures yourself. قَالُوا حَسْبُنَا مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا. They say, no, sufficient is for us what we have found our forefathers to be doing. We don't need any new Sharia. We don't need any new commandments. Our forefathers were not fools. They were doing like this, they were doing like this. It's sufficient for us. أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. Will they take to this attitude even though their fathers might have been knowing nothing? They might have been ignorant. وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ, and they might not have been able to have the true guidance. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا عَلَيْكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ مَنْ ضَلَّ إِذَا اهْتَدَيْتُمْ illALLَّهِ مَرْجِعُكُمْ جَمِيعًا فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. O you who believe, upon you is the responsibility only of your own souls. Nobody will be able to do you any harm when you are on the right path. It's very important. I don't have any control except on myself. Even the Prophet couldn't have what he wanted. He wanted Abu Talib to say and utter these words of Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. But even his wish was not accomplished. You don't have any power. But you have power on your own self. So you are responsible basically for your own self. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum la yadurrukum man dalla. Whosoever goes astray is not going to do you any harm. Iza ihtadaytum, when you are on the guided path. illALLAhi marji'ukum jami'a. To Allah is the return of all of you. فَيُنَبِّئُكُم بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Then He will tell you, inform you fully of what you had been doing. But this ayah was misinterpreted by people even in the days so early as the days of the caliphate of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala. They misinterpreted. How? There is no need of da'wah, there is no need of tabligh, there is no need of trying to convince people when you are responsible for your own self. This doesn't mean that. That is your obligation, you have to perform. But even if you have conveyed the message in the best of the ways, cleared it absolutely, you have not left any stone unturned on your behalf. Now even if then he is not coming to the right path, you are not responsible. But if you are not doing, your job, you will be responsible. It was your duty. So, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala once he addressed the congregation that I feel and I am seeing that some of you, O Muslims, they are misinterpreting this ayah. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't make da'wah and you shouldn't try to, reform people and to enjoin them to whatever is good and to forbid them from whatever is wrong. This is imperative, this is obligatory. This is your duty, you have to do. If you have done your duty, even then if somebody is not coming to the right path, okay, you will not be responsible on the Day of Judgment. Even if he is your own son. But if you have not tried to bring him up in the correct way, Islamically, then you are responsible. So then he narrated upon him a hadith. Hazrat Abu Bakr read out a hadith to the congregation. When people are seeing a thing forbidden and do not try to eradicate it, it is well nigh that Allah may punish all of them. Something wrong is being done. I see it with my own eyes. I don't say it. It is wrong. Please don't do it. Then if the punishment comes, I will also be included in those who are punished. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu shahadatu bainakum idha hadara ahadakum al-maut wa hina al-wasiyati isnani zawa adlin minkum. Oh, you who believe, the testimony between you when death comes to any one of you and he is making a bequest, a wasiyah, it is isnan zawa adlin minkum, two just equitable people, persons from amongst you, Muslims. A person is dying, he wants to make a wasiyah, he wants to make a bequest. So he should call two people who can be depended upon, mature people, just people of good character, dependable character, and make them the witness that this is my wasiyah. أو آخران من غيركم إن أنتم ضربتم في الأرض فأصابتكم مصيبة الموت. And if you are traveling in the earth, in the land, and that incident of death comes to you, then you can take witnesses from other people also. If you can't find any Muslims over there, what to do? You are on traveling. So other non-Muslim can also be made. آخران من دونكم من غيركم إن أنتم ضربتم في الأرض فأصابتكم مصيبة الموت تحبسونهما من بعد الصلاة. Now these two witnesses, they should be stopped. They should be retained in the mosque after the prayer. فَيُقْسِمَانِ بِاللَّهِ إِنِ ارْتَبْتُمْ. And then they should swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have any doubts, if you doubt the integrity of those witnesses, now make them swear in the mosque after the prayer. La nashtari bihi samanan. We will never purchase, we will never barter away this bequest for any price. Law kana za qurba. Maybe the beneficiary is some my relative related to me. Wala naktumu shahadat Allah. And we will not conceal or hide the witness of Allah. This shahada is shahadatullah. Inna illALLAH min al-asimin. If we do it, we will be among the sinners. فَإِنْ عُسِرَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُمَا اسْتَحَقَّا. But if it is discovered that they have become guilty of sin, فَإِنْ عُسِرَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُمَا اسْتَحَقَّا إِثْمًا فَآخَرَانِ يَقُومَانِ مَقَامَهُمَا. Now two other people should stand in their place. At that very moment in the mosque, now they should testify. مِنَ الَّذِينَ اسْتَحَقَّ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَوْلِيَانِ. And they should be nearest to the king, to the person who died. فَيُقْسِمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. They will also swear with Allah, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَشَهَادَتُنَا أَحَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا. Our witnessing, our testimony is more correct than the testimony of these two people. وَمَا اعْتَدَيْنَا. And we have not transgressed. إِنَّا illALLAH min al-zalimin. If we do it, then we are the transgressors, we are the evildoers. That we shall be punishable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَىٰ وَجْهِهَا. This is more clear or more likely that those people, the original two, they will now bring forth the testimony in the original form. Had it been that whatever you say, it will be accepted, then they might have been tempted to say something wrong. But if they know that their oath can be abrogated by the oath of two other persons also. Then they will be cautious. They won't say anything wrong. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَىٰ يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَىٰ وَجْهِهَا أَوْ يَخَافُوا أَن تُرَدَّ أَيْمَانٌ بَعْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ. Just possible that our oath will be abrogated due to other oaths. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاسْمَعُوا, and have taqwa of Allah and listen. And what does it mean? Listen and obey. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ, and Allah doesn't guide to the right path people who are themselves intending to be transgressing. Now the last two sections of this surah, and they are depicting, a scene of the day of judgment. What is going to happen on the day of judgment? As we have read, in Surah An-Nisa, فَكَيْفَ إِذَا جِئْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ بِشَهِيدٍ. The prophets who were sent to different nations and tribes, they will stand up in the court of Allah and they will testify as the prosecution witnesses, as the court witnesses, as we call them. But even, those prophets, how they will behave before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How humble will they be? And especially in case of Jesus Christ, whom people have taken to be a part of Godhead. What will be his attitude on the day of judgment before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So these two sections, last sections of this surah, are very important. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ. Think of the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather all the messengers. فَيَقُولُ مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ. And he will ask them, what response was given to you by your people? قَالُوا لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. This is the humility. They will say, oh Allah, we don't have any definite knowledge. You are the only one who knows all the unseen. You know it. What was the response? What people said to us? You know everything. We can't add to your knowledge. You already know it. Is قال Allah ya Isa. Now, especially Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Just recall when Allah will say to Isa, Ya Isa, O Isa ibn Maryam, son of Mary, Uskur ni'mati alayk. Just recall and remember my blessings upon you. Wa ala walidatik, and upon your mother. Is ayyattuka bi ruhil qudus. When I strengthened you through the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, tukallimu an-nasa fil mahdi wa kahla, so that you spoke to the people in the cradle as an infant, and you spoke also as an old man in old age. Now this word here is very important, kahla. According to the history, Jesus was raised or lifted from this earth to heaven, and it is accepted by all the Christians at the age of 33. This is not kahulat. Even at the age of 40, it is shab, according to Arabic language. Kahul, kahl means old age. This means old age will come to Hazrat Jesus, Hazrat Masih alayhi salam, when he returns to this earth, and this is given by hadith. He will come back, then he will marry, he will have children, and then he will die. And perhaps he will remain on earth for 40 long years. So 40 plus 33 go to make 73. Now this is old age. Otherwise this word cannot be explained. Now this is a point for those who don't believe in the second coming of Jesus. There are so many people among the Muslims who don't give any importance to ahadith. And these things, which appear to them to be against scientific phenomena. How can a person come again, and how can a person remain alive in the heaven for 2000 long years? Because these things are unusual. These are miraculous. Even his birth was miraculous, without father. He was given the biggest miracles the palpable, the seen miracles, which can be seen with the eyes. The biggest miracle is Quran. But this is not something to be seen with eyes. It is to be understood through your intellect and heart. The biggest visible miracles were given to Hazrat Masih alayhi salatu wassalam. And there is a list coming. تُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ وَكَهْلًا وَإِذْ عَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. These 4 words appeared in Surah Al Imran also. And the relationship is عَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ, when I taught you the book, and وَالْحِكْمَةَ, and the wisdom. وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. Here now waw is waw tafsiri, to explain. That is the Torah and the Injil. Torah was the book, the law, and Injil is the wisdom. There is no law in Injil. عَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. When I taught you the book and the wisdom, that is the Torah and the Injil. وَإِسْتَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ كَهَيْئَةِ الطَّيْرِ. And when you used to make from clay the likeliness of a bird, فَتَنْفُخُ فِيهُ بِإِذْنِي, and with my command, فَتَنْفُخُ فِيهَا فَتَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِي, and then you breathed into it, and it used to become a bird, a real bird, on my command, by my command. وَتُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَصَ, and you corrected, and you healed the born blind and the leper, بِإِذْنِي, by my command. وَإِسْتُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى بِإِذْنِي, and when you revived the dead by my command. وَإِذْ كَفَفْتُ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَنْكَ, and when I held back the hands of Bani Israel from you, they were bent upon killing you, crucifying you. I caught their hands. I saved you. إِذْ جِئْتَهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, when you came to them with clear teachings and clear miracles. فَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْهُمْ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. Then those of them who disbelieved, they said, oh, it is clear sorcery. It's magic and nothing else. وَإِذْ أَوْحَيْتُ إِلَى الْحَوَارِيِّينَ أَنْ آمِنُوا بِي وَبِرَسُولِي. And just recall, O Jesus, when I inspired the Hawariyin, your companions, that have faith in me and in my messenger. This is inspiration, is awhaytu. Here wahi is inspiration. Wahi of the book is revelation. So these 2 words are separate. Inspired. قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَاشْهَدْ بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ بِأَنَّنَا مُسْلِمُونَ. They said, we believe, so you be a witness to us that we submit ourselves to Allah. إِذْ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ. Now another incident. إِذْ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ. And just recall when these Hawariyin, these companions of Jesus, asked him, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, O Isa, son of Maryam, هَلْ يَسْتَطِيعُ رَبُّكَ أَنْ يُنَزِّلَ عَلَيْنَا مَائِدَةً مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. Is your Lord capable of sending down on us a table spread with food? A table served on it food? قَالَ اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. Jesus said, have fear of Allah. Have regard for Allah. Don't ask such ridiculous, demands from Him. In kuntum mu'minin, if you are true believers. قَالُوا نُرِيدُ أَن نَأْكُلَ مِنْهَا. They insisted. We want to eat from that table, which comes directly from the heaven. وَتَطْمَئِنَّ قُلُوبُنَا. And so that our hearts become absolutely satisfied. Now these are the words which even Hazrat Ibrahim said. So don't blame these Hawariyin. When we find it in Surah Al-Baqarah, Hazrat Ibrahim prayed to Allah, Arini kaifa tuhyil mauta. Oh Allah, show me how you will revive the dead. Qala walam tu'min. Allah said, don't you believe? قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي. I do believe, but I want that my heart should be absolutely, convinced of it. So the Hawariyin also said, قالوا نريد أن نأكل منها وتطمئن قلوبنا ونعلم, and we shall come to know for sure, أن قد صدقتنا, that whatever you told us, whatever you said to us was absolutely true and correct. وَنَكُونَ عَلَيْهَا مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ, and then we shall become on that witnesses. Because to be actually witnesses for Allah, you need a very deep conviction. To become a real soldier of Allah on earth, a shallow faith cannot give you the courage. You need a very deep conviction to be ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of Allah. Not easy. To read the ayah, it's very easy. illALLAH ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi anna lahumul jannah. You can repeat it 1,000 times. But to be able to prove to it, equal to it, it's not easy. So you need the depth of commitment, the depth of conviction. Qala Isa, now Isa acceded to their request. Qala Isa ibn Maryam, so said Jesus, son of Mary, Allahumma, O God, O Allah, Rabbana, O our sustainer, our Lord, Anzil alayna ma'idatan min as-SPAA, send down upon us a table from the skies, from the heaven, takunu lana eidan li awwalina wa akhirina, so that it becomes for us a recurring, returning festival. Just as we have Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Azha. So this will become for my ummah. The remembrance of this day will become the Eid. Li awwalina wa akhirina, from the people who are before and people who are coming to be later. From the first of us and the last of us. وَآيَةً مِّنْكَ, and it will become a sign from you. وَارْزُقْنَا وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ, and feed us, and you are the best feeder. قَالَ اللَّهُ إِنِّي مُنَزِّلُهَا عَلَيْكُمْ, Allah said, I am going to send it down on you. But now, فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْدْ مِنْكُمْ, but listen, whosoever of you will disbelieve after this, after seeing such a clear sign, such a clear miracle, if now this responsibility becomes much great. After showing a clear miracle, no concession is given to the people now. When the people of Salih demanded a miracle, a pregnant camel should come out from this rock, if you are the messenger of Allah. A she-camel, pregnant she-camel should come out from this rock, and this was given to them. But then now, if now you don't believe, then there can be no concession. All finished. So the same is the style here. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْضُ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنِّي أُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا لَا أُعَذِّبُهُ أَحَدًا مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Then I will give the punishment to him which I will not give to any from all the worlds. This will be the most severe punishment that I will give them, having seen such an open miracle with their eyes. وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ, just see to the style. And when Allah will say, O Isa, son of Mary, أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ لِلنَّاسِ اتَّخِذُونِي وَأُمِّيَ إِلَٰهَيْنِ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, did you say to the people, take me and my mother also as gods besides Allah? قَالَ سُبْحَانَكَ مَا يَكُونُ لِي أَنْ أَقُولَ مَا لَيْسَ لِي بِحَقٍّ. Now look to the humility. Who is he? Jesus. Rasulullah wa kalimatuhu wa ruhum minhu. He will say, Subhana, glory be to you. It was not possible for me to say, of which I didn't have any right. In kunta qultuhu, had I said so, faqad alimta, you must have known it. Ta'lamu ma fi nafsi. You know whatever is in my mind. Wala a'lamu ma fi nafsik. I don't know what is in your mind. Innaka anta allamul ghuyub. You are the knower of all the unseen. Ma qultu lahum. I didn't say to them, illa ma amartani, except the same thing which you commanded me. An i'budullah rabbi wa rabbakum. That worship Allah, my Lord and your Lord, my sustainer and your sustainer. Wa kuntu alayhim shahidan ma dumtu fihim. I was watching over them when I was with them. Falamma tawaffaytani, when you recalled me, kunta anta raqiba alayhim. Now you were the watcher over them. Wa anta ala kulli shay'in shaheed, and you are witness over everything. In tu'azibhum, it's very beautiful. This is the way of intercession with humility. Nobody can intercede with authority or arrogance. Man zal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'izni. Who is that who will be able to intercede with him without his permission, except with his permission? Now look to the verse. In tu'azibhum fa innahum ibaduk. If you punish them, they are your bondsmen, they are your slaves. Wa in taghfir lahum, and if you forgive them, fa innaka antal azizul hakim, you have all the authority, you are all wise. There is a plea in it, a very beautiful way of requesting, but not clearly saying, oh Allah, ighfir lahum. No. The authority is in your hand. It's up to you. In tu'azibhum fa innahum ibaduk. They are your creatures. You created them. They are your bondsmen. They have committed a mistake. They committed ghuluv. They raised me over and above the real position that I had. They made me equal to you. It's their mistake. It's their sin. In tu'azibhum fa innahum ibaduk. Wa in taghfir lahum, and if you forgive them, fa innaka antal azizul hakim. Nobody can ask you why you have forgiven them. Innaka antal azizul hakim. You have all the authority. قال الله هذا يوم ينفع الصادقين صدقهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, oh, this is the day when the truthfulness will be beneficial to the truthful. Lahum jannatun tajri min tahtiha al-anharu khalidina fiha abada. For them, there are the gardens underneath which rivers are flowing, and they will it will be their abode forever, forever. Radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu. Allah got pleased with them, and they will be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa zalika al-fawzul azim. And this is the biggest success. Lillahi mulku as-samawati wal-ard wa ma fihin. To Allah belongs the sovereignty and kingdom of all that is in the heavens and in the earth, and whatever is in them. The other expression was وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا. Now here it's different. وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ وَمَا فِيهِنْ. Whatsoever is in them, all the heavens and all the earths. وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And He is powerful over everything. Sadaq Allahul Azim. With this we have reached the end of Surah Al-Ma'idah. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim.